Hi, I am Dr. J.P. Silvera from TaylorMade Health and Wellness, and the story I want to start with is one we hear almost every week. A patient came in a few days after a fender bender. She told us she had felt completely fine right after the crash. No pain, no stiffness, nothing that made her think twice. She went home, went to work the next morning, went to bed. Then, on the third morning, she woke up and could not turn her neck. Not to the left, not to the right. A dull headache had moved in overnight and one of her arms had started to tingle. She thought she had slept on it wrong. She almost did not call us. Here is what was actually happening inside her body. The moment your car gets hit, your brain reads danger and floods your bloodstream with adrenaline. That adrenaline is a painkiller, a powerful one. It is the same chemistry that lets someone run on a broken ankle in an emergency. In the hours right after a crash, that chemical environment masks a lot of what is actually going on in your soft tissue, your muscles, your ligaments, the small joints along your cervical spine. Then the adrenaline clears. The inflammation that started at the moment of impact has been building quietly the entire time. And by day 2 or day 3, it peaks. That is when the stiffness shows up. That is when the headache arrives. That is when the arm starts to tingle. The injury is not new. The injury is just finally loud enough that your body can no longer hide it from you. This is whiplash. And it is one of the most consistently misunderstood injuries from car accidents because the gap between the event and the symptoms makes people doubt the connection. If you felt fine right after, it is tempting to believe the crash did not really matter. That gap is not evidence that nothing happened. That gap is just how the biology works. So what do you do if you are sitting there a few days out from a crash, feeling things you were not feeling before, and you are not sure whether to come in or wait it out? Come in. Here is what that first visit actually looks like, because I think the unknown is usually what keeps people from making the call. The first visit at TaylorMade Health and Wellness is always a conversation before anything else touches your body. We ask you what happened, the direction of impact, the speed, whether you were braced or caught off guard. We ask what you are feeling now, and we specifically ask about the things you think might be unrelated. The headache you wrote off, the jaw soreness you assumed was stress, the shoulder that has been clicking. We want to hear all of it, because the body does not segment itself the way we sometimes think it does. Then we do the exam. Range of motion. How far can you actually move? And where does it stop? Palpation of the spine and surrounding soft tissue. A review of any imaging you already have from the ER or urgent care. If we need additional imaging to understand what we are working with, we will tell you that clearly and we will help you get it. And I want to say something directly because I think it matters. We will also tell you plainly when something is outside our scope. Fractures, spinal cord injuries, serious head trauma. If we see signs pointing in that direction, we are not going to treat it and hope for the best. We are going to tell you what we found, explain why you need a different level of care, and send you to the right place. We do not treat everything. And we think being honest about that boundary is part of actually taking care of you. For most whiplash cases, the soft tissue injuries, the cervical joint restriction, the headaches and radiating symptoms that come from a compressed or irritated nerve, chiropractic care is one of the most effective tools available. Targeted adjustments restore motion to joints that locked up under impact. Soft tissue work breaks down the inflammation and scar tissue that forms in the days after. Over a course of treatment, we are working to get your range of motion back, reduce pain, and prevent the kind of chronic stiffness that people carry for years after a crash when they never addressed it properly at the start. For anyone driving in Florida, there is something practical you should know. Florida has personal injury protection coverage, what most people call PIP. It provides up to $10,000 in medical benefits after a car accident, regardless of who was at fault. You do not need to win a lawsuit. You do not need to wait for liability to be sorted out. That benefit exists to get you care now. At TaylorMade Health and Wellness, we handle all of the billing and paperwork on our end. You do not need to figure out how to file anything. There is one piece of timing that matters. Under current Florida law, you generally need to seek care within 14 days of the accident to access those PIP benefits.